Okay, so there's this device called a gain-assisted superluminal propagator. There's one at Princeton that received a signal before the machine was turned on from the other end of the machine. So they sent a laser light, they flip the thing on, and it registered on the register before the machine was turned on. And the posit on this was that this little blip traveled at 310 times the speed of light, which, according to relativity, means that it traveled backwards in time. So I look at that. And I think, well, why not just convert that super fast laser beam into a super fast radio wave with a gain propagator, or connected to a beam modulator, and try to see if you can create a super fast radio wave, because radio waves also travel at the speed of light. So why not, like with CD players, you know how like if you connect a CD player to a radio tower, it transmits a radio signal. The laser beam's going at the speed of light. The radio signal's going at the speed of light. So why not see if a super fast laser beam in sustainment rather than a blip creates a radio wave that goes faster than the speed of light. Have you run the experiment though? Have you run the experiment though? Okay, well, if the experiment is correct and that thing is going 310 times the speed of light, then it would reach the moon, the radio wave would reach the moon 300 times faster about, which would be within 0.8 seconds. Have you run the experiment though? Have you run the experiment though? No? Okay, so how about run the experiment? Well, you got to catch it too, right? You need a transmitter, and then you need a receiver. Of course, when you receive the signal back, if it bounces back off the moon faster than the speed of light, you're going to have to catch the signal and slow it down. You know, what a coinkydink, because there's a researcher at Harvard, I think you know her name, that conducted an experiment on sublight, slowing down a laser beam through a chunk of Bose-Einstein condensate to 300,000 kilometers a second, or 671 million miles per second, which is the speed of light, down to the speed of a bicycle. So if you're catching a radio wave off the moon that bounces back faster than the speed of light, you're going to have to slow that fucking thing down in order to register it through a computer. Keep in mind, all this is moving backwards in time. So if you bounce it off of Alpha Centauri, when you receive the signal in 11 days, you're going to receive it 11 days before you sent it. So you might want to have the Bose-Einstein condensate ready and the receiver connected to it that slows the beam down through a beam modulator, catching the radio wave, converting it to a laser through the Bose-Einstein condensate at Harvard, from Princeton shooting it, Harvard catching it. Like if Nolan Ryan and Carlton Fisk were on the same baseball team. You're going to have to slow that down, right? So if that's true and that works, you might want to contact the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. What's his name? Seth Shostak. And tell him that Lucas Werner said that there might be a way that we could send a signal into outer space faster than the speed of light. In order to perhaps send a message or a pattern like the Fibonacci sequence or pi or some sort of like Bone Thugs and Harmony, first of the month, so they know it's music and it's a pattern. If there's anything out there that could recognize music, they'd recognize mathematical patterns. So you may as well send a song, any song. I like first of the month because I think that would be kind of funny. Alien registers it first of the month. Little Bone Thugs that the Galicians might actually make them like this, because that's a really calm song. You ever smoke weed? Some Bone Thugs or some loonies? Oh my God. It just adds to the high, really. It just adds to the high. So if they're out there, maybe the reason that we don't know that they're out there is because we're not sending signals faster than the speed of light, so they regard us as a primitive species. So if we can figure out a way to send a signal faster than the speed of light, like I just posited could be a possibility. Do you think that's an experiment kind of worth setting up in stages? Kind of trying to figure out if that might be true. Have you run the experiment? Have you run the experiment? Why don't you run the fucking experiment?